Hey folks, this is AJ, and we're cutting out all the intro and stuff like that because we need to get to something that's really important. Facebook is making some changes that I need you to be aware of because of the possible impact to your church if you're using it as a platform for live streaming. Now, I always suggest that you have multiple options just in case anything happens, as in your Facebook goes down, YouTube goes down, whatever like that. But I need to bring this to your attention so that you're not blindsided by this. Facebook is going to be making some changes to their terms of service effective October 1st. You can go to facebook.com, go to the bottom left, and then click on terms, and you can read this and see this yourself. But I want to accent a particular listing inside of this change. So if I cut over here to my computer, and I will blow this up so it's much easier for you to read. Inside of you can look at the existing Facebook terms of service and then also look at the new one that's going to go into effect on October 1st. So if the change was made in section 3.2, so if we jump to that section here, they added this line. We also can remove or restrict access to your content, services, or information if we determine that doing so is reasonably necessary to avoid or mitigate adverse legal or regulatory impacts to Facebook. Now, another thing I want to highlight in this, if we look back at the terms of service again under Facebook, and we want to look at their music guidelines. In their music guidelines, and again, I will have this on the screen as well too, it says specifically, and I want to link this with that new line under section 3.2 that was added. It says the music guidelines, these supplemental terms apply if you post or share any videos or content containing music on any Facebook product. This also includes Instagram, because Facebook owns Instagram. You are responsible for the content you post. People use our products to share content with their family and friends. Keep in mind, you remain solely responsible. Remember that, solely responsible for the content that you post. Including any music that is featured in that content. Nothing in these terms constitutes any authorization by us with respect to any use of music or any of our products. Use of music for commercial or non-personal purposes in particular is prohibited unless you have obtained appropriate licenses. You may not use videos on our products to create a music listening experience. We want you to be able to enjoy videos posted by your family and friends. However, if you use videos on your products to create a music listening experience for yourself or for others, your videos will be blocked and your page, profile, or group may be deleted. This includes live. Unauthorized content may be removed. If you post content that contains music owned by someone else, your content may be blocked or may be reviewed by the applicable rights owner and removed if your use of that music is not properly authorized. And then it also goes into saying that your videos may not be available in every country around the world. Now, the reason this, again, I'm not no legal expert, so please consult your appropriate legal entities to protect yourself from this. I just want to bring this to your attention that looking at the wording and based off of the new addition that was added, my interpretation of this is Facebook is placing legal walls to say that if you happen to break any type of or do any type of activity that will bring music companies down on you in any way, shape, or form because you're posting music that you do not own or you're playing music that you do not own in any way, shape, or form, these statements are pretty much saying that Facebook is like, we are not responsible for what you do. You are solely responsible for what you post, meaning that it ain't our fault. This is just our stuff. If you do something illegal, We didn't authorize you to do it. You just came here. We're just a platform. People can do whatever they want to, and if they do something, they are solely responsible. It's not Facebook. And on that terms of service that changed, they say that they have the right, as in Facebook has the right, to delete or do anything to mitigate the legal repercussions on Facebook, not on you. So how does that tie into churches and everything like that? I've been saying this for a long time. That simple statement of I do not own the rights to this and all this other stuff, that means absolutely nothing. These systems are scanning the pattern of your music and comparing that against a database of music that has been registered for them with content ID. I think that's what YouTube calls it. But they're scanning that to see, does something that you play match? Now, I've gotten hit with this before when I live stream sporting events, because we're outside at the time and people are driving by in their car blasting music. I cannot be responsible for that because I can't stop them, but I've gotten hit because that algorithm picks up the song that's playing. And I had something was brought to my attention saying you don't have authorization for this song. But again, it was one of those things I could not control. This is different from a church. If you are going to iTunes, Google Play, whatever, or your CD, MP3s, or whatever that you've bought, and you're just playing that music in the background, that you are not legally allowed to do that. Whether it's for church, whatever. I don't care if it's Kirk Franklin, Israel Houghton, whoever. You do not have the right to play that music. As a musician, me playing live, us singing live is something completely different. That's kind of interpreted as your own interpretation of the song. But again, I don't want to get into that legal stuff. All I want to bring to your attention is the parties have moved and things are being put in place effective October 1st, that if you do anything like that, they can come after you. But Facebook has covered their rear end so that they are just a platform. They have nothing to do with what you're doing, and they can delete your page, your profile, your group, whatever, if you happen to do something against that, as well as it's a protection for them so that they're like, you acted on your own, you can't come against us. Because I think this kind of goes back into the COPA stuff that happened earlier this year or last year, something like that. I can't even remember. It's been so much stuff has happened in 2020. But the idea is they can come after the platform who is hosting this stuff as well as the poster. Facebook is putting it in place to where they're like, no, you can't come after us. You need to go after the person who posted it. We're just a platform. We're not responsible for what they put on here, but we will remove it if it's possible that it can impact us. And that's what that change did. So please make sure you contact your appropriate legal entities that you might have with your church and go over that. Again, I am not giving you legal advice. I'm just telling you that you need to be aware of the changes that are going in place. You need to have contingency plans in place, but more importantly, don't be stupid and don't play stuff that you don't own. That's the easiest way to avoid this. If you have live music, for the most part, you're covered because, again, you're not the band. So, it's considered creative license that I can play anybody's song I want to because I'm not playing it like that. I'm producing it. You can't copyright somebody doing something like that, but it's those people who keep playing music that you don't own. That is where you're going to get in trouble. As an alternative, you might have to get to the point where if you're still live streaming, you don't want to have any type of music in any way, shape, or form, and you just want to start just doing your sermon if you're doing something like that. That's an option, alternative option. I'm saying this again to bring it to your attention as to well as the community as a whole that's using Facebook as a platform for live streaming. Don't do anything stupid that will affect everyone. It is not that serious for you to want to play that favorite song of yours by Clay Evans or something like that you do not own the rights to, for that one thing to affect everyone. Just be mindful of that. I want to bring that to your attention. And that's about it. Please make sure you don't just push this up under the rug and ignore this. This is something you need to pay attention to, especially if you're using Facebook platform for live streaming your church stuff, because just be mindful that this change is going to go to all the other platforms. So even if you're not on Facebook, sooner or later, the other platforms are going to follow suit. So be mindful of that. And that's about it, folks. I'll have a link in the description to where you can read the terms of service, the old and the new, and everything like that. And like I said, I am not a legal entity. You need to get in touch with maybe CCLI or something like that, or different entities that provide licensing for your church. You really need to look into that. With all these changes, everything going digital, these are some things that is, as much as you might not like it, your church, your ministry has to be aware of in this digital age, especially online, that there are things that you need to have in place that we didn't have to do 5 years ago. You need to pay attention to this stuff and make sure you protect your ministry, because the last thing you need is to be hit with some type of legal action that's on your ministry that completely cripples it and ultimately affects ministries all over the world. So anyway, if you like this type of content, I appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. And particularly, I normally don't ask for this, please share this video. This is very, very, very important for anybody who is doing some form of live streaming with their ministry. Again, I normally don't ask for sharing, but this is really important. So that's about it, folks. I'm not going to give a shout out for my patrons, but I appreciate that and really want to put this out so everybody is aware of these changes that are coming. So this is AJ, folks. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Later.